The sky was burning. 3 suns hung over the planet Zethra, but today they were hidden. Massive warships blocked out the light. Hundreds of them, maybe thousands. The Kryn Empire had finally come to finish what they started. On the surface, millions of Zethra people looked up at their doom. Their blue skin seemed gray in the shadow of the enemy fleet. Their 4 arms raised toward the sky, not in surrender, but in prayer. In the great temple, the oldest priest knelt before the ancient altar. His name was Eldervorn. He had lived for 300 cycles. He had seen wars. He had seen peace. But he had never seen anything like this. "The gods abandoned us long ago," a young priest whispered beside him. Fear filled her voice. "Then we pray louder," Vorn replied. His voice was steady, but his hands shook. All across Zethra, every temple began to glow. Blue light rose from ancient stones. The Zethra had not used this ritual in 1,000 years. It was a last prayer, the prayer of desperate souls. They called out to anyone who would listen, to the old gods, to the universe itself, to anyone with mercy left in their hearts. Above the planet, the Kryn admiral watched and laughed. "They pray to dead gods," he said to his officers. Pathetic, he raised his claw to give the final order, the order to destroy everything below. But then something happened. Space itself began to tear. Not in front of the Kryn fleet. Behind them, a hole opened in reality. It looked like someone had cut through the fabric of space with a knife. Blue and white light poured through. Warning alarms screamed on every Kryn ship. "What is that?" the admiral demanded. Ships began to emerge from the tear. But they were not the ships of gods. They were metal, cold, practical, military. 12 vessels appeared. They were small compared to the Kryn fleet, but there was something different about them, something terrifying in their silence. The Zethra stopped praying. They stared up at the sky. Eldervorn felt his heart beating faster. Someone answered, he whispered. On every screen, across every communication channel, a message appeared. Just 3 words in a language no one had heard before. "We heard you." The Kryn fleet stopped moving. The Zethra held their breath, and humanity had arrived. The 12 human ships hung in space like silent predators. They did not move. They did not speak again. They just watched. Inside the Kryn flagship, the admiral stared at his screen. "Who are they?" he demanded. "Unknown species, sir," an officer replied. "They're ships. We have never seen this technology before." The admiral's pride was hurt. No one interrupted the Kryn Empire. No one dared. Send them a message. Tell them to leave or die. The message was sent. The human ships remained silent for 10 long seconds. Then a reply came. Just 1 word. "No." The Kryn bridge fell silent. Officers looked at each other in shock. No one said no to the Kryn Empire. On the planet below, Eldervorn watched the sky through the temple's viewing portal. "They are speaking," he said to the other priests, "but not to the Kryn. They are scanning us." He was right. The human ships were studying everything. The destroyed Zethra cities, the empty defense stations, the prayer energy still glowing from the temples. Then a new message appeared on Zethra communication systems. It was in their own language, perfectly translated. "We receive your prayer. We need information. Who attacked you? Why?" Eldervorn's hands shook as he responded. He told them everything. How the Zethra were peaceful explorers. How the Kryn wanted their planet for resources. How they had already destroyed 3 Zethra colonies. The humans went silent again, processing. Meanwhile, the Kryn admiral grew impatient. "Scan those ships. Find their weaknesses." "Sir, there is something strange. Their hulls are reading as impossibly dense. And their power cores, the energy output is what?" "Higher than our entire fleet combined, sir." The admiral laughed nervously. "Impossible. They are only 12 ships. Destroy them." 50 Kryn warships opened fire. Plasma cannons, missile arrays, energy beams, everything they had. The human shields lit up like tiny stars. The attacks hit and simply disappeared. Not reflected, Not absorbed. Just gone. The human ships did not even move. Then, faster than anyone could see, 3 Kryn warships went completely dark. No explosion. No destruction. Just off. Dead in space. A new message came from the humans. This time, their voice was cold. Hard. This is your only warning. Leave the system now. You have 60 seconds to decide. The Kryn admiral stared at the screen in disbelief. Humanity was not here to negotiate. 59 seconds passed. Then 60. Then 70. The Kryn admiral did not retreat. Instead, he smiled. They are bluffing, he said. They disabled 3 ships but killed no one. They are weak. They fear real war. Elder Vorn watched from the planet below. He felt a strange cold in his chest. No, he whispered. They are not weak. They are giving mercy. The human ships began to move. Not fast, not aggressive. They simply repositioned themselves between the Kryn fleet and the planet Zethra. A new message came. This time a human voice spoke. It was calm. Too calm. You chose violence. We chose to give you a chance. That chance is gone. The Kryn admiral laughed. You think 12 ships can stop 500? Attack. All ships. Fire everything. The space between the fleets erupted in light. Thousands of weapons fired at once. The humans did not raise shields this time. They did something else. Every single missile, every energy beam, every projectile stopped in mid-space. They just hung there, frozen. Impossible! A Kryn officer screamed. Then the weapons turned around. They flew back toward the Kryn fleet at twice their original speed. Explosions bloomed across Kryn ships. Shields collapsed. Hulls cracked. Dozens of warships began spinning out of control. The humans had not fired a single shot. Retreat! The admiral finally screamed. Full retreat. But before the Kryn could move, another message arrived, this time from Earth itself. It was a response to the 12 human ships. Reinforcements arriving in 3, 2, 1. Space tore open again. Not in one place. In 30 places. All around the Kryn fleet. And then they came. Thousands of human warships poured through the tears in space. Not 12 anymore. Thousands. They moved like a school of metal fish. Organized. Deadly. Beautiful and terrifying at once. On Zethra, the priests fell to their knees. Some in joy. Some in fear. Elder Vorn stared at the sky, his eyes wide. We prayed for angels, he said quietly. A younger priest finished his thought, voice shaking. But the universe sent something else. The Kryn fleet was now surrounded, completely trapped. No escape routes. No help coming. The human voice spoke again across all channels. Calm. Patient. Final. You were given a warning. You were given mercy. Now you face judgment. The Kryn admiral finally understood what he had awakened. Humanity did not make threats. They made promises. The battle began with silence. No war cries. No dramatic speeches. The human fleet simply moved into position. Precise. Mechanical. Like a machine built for one purpose. Elder Vorn watched from the temple screens. Why do they not attack? He asked. Then he understood. The humans were giving one final chance. Surrender now. The human commander's voice echoed across space. Drop your weapons. Power down your ships. You'll be allowed to leave. The Kryn admiral's pride burned hotter than any sun. Never. We are the Kryn Empire. We do not surrender to. He never finished his sentence. The human fleet opened fire. It was not like any battle the galaxy had ever seen. Kryn ships did not explode dramatically. They simply stopped existing. Human weapons did not burn through hulls. They erased them. Matter became energy. Energy became nothing. In 30 seconds, 100 Kryn warships were gone. Shields. Maximum shields, the admiral screamed. It did not matter. Human weapons passed through Kryn shields like they were not even there. The technology gap was not just large. It was impossible. Kryn ships tried to run. The humans let them go. But the ones who kept fighting, they disappeared one by one. On Zethra, People watched in horror and awe. This was not a battle. This was an execution. Stop. Elder Vorn suddenly screamed into his communicator. Humans, please stop. To his shock, they did. The human weapons went silent. 50% of the Kryn fleet remained. Damaged, broken, but alive. The human commander's voice returned. Why do you ask us to stop? They try to destroy you. Elder Vorn's voice shook. Because if you kill them all, you become like them. And we did not pray for destroyers. We prayed for saviors. Silence filled the space. Long, heavy silence. Then the humans responded. You are wiser than you know. The human fleet turned toward the surviving Kryn ships. Surrender now. Final offer. This time, the Kryn admiral had no pride left. Only fear. We surrender. The Kryn weapons powered down. Their ships went dark. They had lost everything. But they were alive. The humans had shown mercy even in victory. Elder Vorn fell to his knees, exhausted. Around him, the Zethra people began to cry. Not from fear anymore. From relief. From joy. Their prayer had been answered. But as the human ships turned toward Zethra, a new question filled every mind. What would humanity ask in return? A single human ship descended through Zethra's atmosphere. It landed gently in the temple courtyard, where thousands of Zethra had gathered. The ship's door opened with a soft hiss. A human stepped out. Elder Vorn had never seen a human before. They looked so small, fragile even. 2 arms instead of 4. Soft skin with no natural armor. How could such delicate creatures command such terrible power? The human was a woman. Her uniform was simple, dark blue with silver markings. Her eyes were tired, old, like she had seen too much war. I am Commander Sarachun, she said. Her voice was translated instantly into Zethra language. We need to talk. Elder Vorn stepped forward, his forearms spread in the traditional gesture of peace. What do you want from us, Commander? Our world? Our resources? We have little left, but... Nothing. Commander Chen interrupted. We want nothing. The crowd fell silent. Confused whispers spread to the gathering. I do not understand, Vorn said. You saved us. Surely you want something in return. Commander Chen looked up at the 3 suns breaking through the clouds. 50 years ago, Earth almost destroyed itself. We fought wars over resources, religion, power. We came so close to extinction. She paused, her voice becoming quieter. In our darkest moment, we found something. An ancient signal buried in deep space. It was a prayer, a call for help from a civilization that died 2,000 years ago. Vorn's eyes widened. Someone else prayed, like us? Yes, and no one came. No one answered them. They died alone, calling out to an empty universe. Commander Chen looked directly at Vorn. We made a promise that day. Never again. Never let anyone die unanswered. She pulled out a small device and projected a hologram. It showed a map of the galaxy with 47 points of light. 47 civilizations, she continued. 47 prayers we have answered. We ask nothing in return. But we do have one rule. What rule? Vorn asked carefully. Never become what attacked you. Her voice turned hard. We will protect you from others. But if you become conquerors, if you attack the weak like the Kryn did, we will return. And next time, we will not be your saviors. The weight of her words hung in the air. Elder Vorn bowed his head. We understand. We accept. Commander Chen nodded and turned back toward her ship. But before she could leave, every alarm in the system began screaming. Something else had just entered Zethra's space. Something old. Something wrong. And it was coming fast. Every screen in the system turned red. Warning signals blared from human and Zethra ships alike. Commander Chen spun around, her hand moving to her communicator. Report. What is it? A panicked voice came through. Commander, we are detecting a massive energy signature. Unknown origin. It is not Kryn. It is not anything in our database. Elder Vorn felt his blood turn cold. That energy pattern, I have seen it before. in the old records, from civilizations that vanished without explanation, from the dark space beyond the system, something emerged. It was not a ship, not exactly. It was massive, organic-looking, covered in strange symbols that hurt to look at. It pulsed with sick green light. Then a voice spoke, not through communicators. It spoke directly into every mind in the system. Human, Zethra, even Kryn, we heard your prayer. We always hear. Commander Chen's face went pale. What is that thing? Vorn's voice shook. The Harvesters. The old text spoke of them. They travel the galaxy, listening for prayers, for desperation. They collect entire civilizations. The voice continued, cold and ancient. You call for salvation. We have come to save you. Forever. It is a lie, Vorn said quickly. They do not save. They trap. They preserve civilizations like insects in amber. Alive but frozen. Conscious but unable to move. Forever. Commander Chen's jaw tightened. Well, that is not happening today. She activated her fleet-wide channel. All human ships, battle formation. Protect Zethra at all costs. But before the humans could move, something unexpected happened. The surviving Kryn ships powered back up. The Admiral's voice came through, shaking but determined. Humans, we surrender to you, not to that thing. We will fight with you. Then more ships appeared. Old Zethra defense drones, barely functional, rising from the planet's surface. We stand with humanity, Vorn declared. Commander Chen looked around at the fleet forming around her, enemies becoming allies in minutes. She smiled grimly. The universe really is listening, and it sent something terrible. She opened a channel to all ships. Her voice was strong, unafraid. My name is Commander Sarachin of Earth. We are humanity. We do not pray to the universe for salvation. We do not wait for gods to save us. The human fleet moved forward as one. We are the ones who answer. The Harvester moved to attack. And the real battle for Zethra began. The Harvester moved like liquid darkness through space. Its massive form twisted and shifted, impossible to fully understand. Green, tendrils reached out toward the planet. All ships opened fire. Commander Chen ordered. Thousands of weapons lit up the void. Human plasma cannons, Kryn energy beams, ancient Zethra rail guns. Everything they had. The attacks hit the Harvester and passed right through it, like shooting at smoke. It is not fully in our dimension, Vorn explained frantically. The old text said the Harvesters exist between realities. Normal weapons cannot harm them. Commander Chen's mind raced. Then we need to bring it fully into our reality, force it to become solid. How? The Kryn Admiral asked. Chen turned to Vorn. Your prayer, the ritual, it opened a doorway, didn't it? It pulled us here from across the galaxy. Vorn's eyes widened. Yes, but can you reverse it? Instead of calling something in, can you push something out? Vorn thought for a moment. Perhaps, but we would need enormous energy. More than our temples can generate. Commander Chen smiled. Good thing we brought extra power sources. She turned to her fleet. All ships, redirect your reactor cores to the planet's surface. Feed the temples with everything we have. One of her officers protested. Commander, if we do that, our weapons will go offline. Our shields will drop. We will be defenseless. I know, Chen said quietly. Do it anyway. Across the system, human ships went dark. One by one, they transferred all their power to Zethra. The planet's ancient temples began to glow brighter than they had in 1,000 years. The Harvester sensed the weakness. Its tendrils shot forward toward the defenseless human fleet. Now, Elder Vorn, Chen shouted, push it back. Vorn and every priest on Zethra raised their arms. They chanted the reverse prayer, not calling for help, but rejecting unwanted salvation. We do not accept you. We choose our own fate. We reject your harvest. The combined energy of temples and human reactors created a wave of pure force. It slammed into the Harvester, forcing it to become solid, real, vulnerable. The creature screamed, a sound that made stars tremble. Chun grabbed her communicator. All ships, we have one shot. Every remaining weapon. Fire now. The Allied fleet unleashed everything at once. This time, the attacks did not pass through. They hit solid flesh. The harvester began to crack, to break, to burn. With a final, terrible scream, it collapsed into itself and vanished. Silence fell across the system. Then, slowly, cheering began. On ships, on the planet, across every species. They had won. Together. 3 days later, the combined fleet still orbited Zethra. Repairs were being made. The wounded were being healed. And new friendships were being formed. In the Great Temple, an unusual gathering took place. Commander Chin sat at a round table with Elder Vorn and the Kryn Admiral, whose name was Throck. I never thought I would sit at peace with those I tried to destroy, Throck admitted. His voice was heavy with shame. Chin looked at him directly. You have a choice now. Return to your empire and continue as you were, or change. Throck was silent for a long moment. My empire will not accept change easily. They will call me a traitor for surrendering. Then do not return alone, Vorn said quietly. Stay here. Help us rebuild what you destroyed. Show your people there's another way. Throck looked surprised. You would allow this? After everything? Humanity gave us mercy, Vorn replied. We can do the same. Commander Chin stood and walked to the temple window. Outside, human engineers worked alongside Zethra and even some Kryn volunteers. Former enemies building together. 50 years ago, Earth was like the Kryn Empire, she said. Aggressive, selfish, destructive. But we changed. Not because gods forced us. Because we chose to. She turned back to face them. The universe is full of civilizations that pray for help. But it is also full of civilizations that can become better. The Kryn can change. If they want to. Throck lowered his head. I will try. I cannot speak for my empire. But I will try. Elder Vorn placed one of his 4 hands on Throck's shoulder. A gesture of forgiveness. Later that evening, Commander Chin prepared to leave. Her ship was ready. Earth was calling her home. Vorn walked her to the landing pad. Will you come if we call again? He asked. Chin smiled. We will always answer. That is our promise. She paused. But I do not think you will need us. You have everything you need right here. She pointed to the workers below. 3 different species. Building one future. The universe is listening, Chin said as she boarded her ship. And now it hears something new. Not prayers. Not cries for help. But voices working together. The human fleet jumped to faster-than-light travel and disappeared into the stars. But their promise remained. On Zethra, Elder Vorn looked up at the 3 suns. They prayed for angels, he whispered. But we received something better. We received hope. And across the galaxy, 47 other worlds whispered the same truth. Humanity answers.